we're just going to get right into it as normal. So today we're going to be talking about toxic relationships. So I feel like before we even start, we should just talk about what would we define as a toxic relationship?
Well, I think a toxic relationship is when you put up with something that you shouldn't put up with, and I feel like you kind of manipulate it and you kind of in a cycle to continue something that you know you shouldn't be in, but at the end of the day, you still get something from that relationship that you can't find with other people, and that's what I think makes it so toxic. Because even when you try to get away from that person and you try to find something else, whatever you're trying to find, you can't find because you still stuck to that person. That's what I feel is toxic. When you stuck to a person you know you should not be stuck to.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like usually lust is at the center of these
Yes.
toxic interactions or connections, and that's why people feel like it's hard for them to escape them, because regardless of whatever manipulation, drama, or whatever they deal with that person, they're getting something from them that they haven't gotten somewhere else, and it could be like a first-time thing, and it's like even though you or they may know it's wrong, it's hard to get out of because like you're stuck in the feel of it, I guess.
Yeah, I think it mostly has to do with lust, like you said, because they make you feel a certain way that other people can't, you know what I mean? So what about you? What do you think? Because you ain't saying nothing yet.
I agree with you guys. You know, anything that is negative, that's continuously negative, and then there's like no change in the cycle because, you know, we all know that not change behavior is just manipulation. So, you know, that's the basic things you guys think. But then I feel like there becomes it becomes a bit of a challenge trying to figure out, like, because you said anything that you shouldn't be dealing with, you know. So we all know that relationships are hard work. So it's like, how do you decide when you shouldn't be dealing with this? So how do you define this a toxic relationship versus getting past issues?
Yeah, I was thinking about that as well, because I'm like, okay, what if you're like dealing with someone, you know, for like way too long, like a year, you know what I'm saying? And it's not going anywhere, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you guys are still having fun. Do you feel like that's toxic? Because it's just like, you guys aren't
I do, because I feel like
anywhere.
it's a dead end.
Yeah.
And if you know it's not going anywhere, then I feel like, yeah, it's toxic.
Yeah.
I mean, what if that's what the person wants? What if that's what both parties want? Is it toxic then?
No, I mean, if both parties want it, then no. But I mean, if one person, that's because, like, there's a lot of times where, like, say, for instance, a guy's like, I don't want a relationship. But then he does all these things to make it seem like he wants a relationship. And it's just you guys. And, you know, you guys feel like you're building towards something, but then you're not. So I feel like that's a little bit toxic. Because then you got to get out of that situation and find, like, what you can do to move forward. But then there's also situations where you're together and you think everything's working fine, and then you find out something else, something crazy, and then you continue to stay, and then you find out again, and then you stay, and then, you know what I mean? That's also toxic.
So what examples would you say, like, publicly, like celebrities, you say toxic relationships?
Me personally, I think that whole Khloe Kardashian and Tristan, whatever his name is, Thompson, I feel like that's pretty toxic.
I don't think it's toxic because she's older, and I feel like women around her age, they just, maybe it's not even an age thing, but I feel like maybe her perspective is she's just trying to figure it out for the child, even though he is like 10 years younger than her and a hot mess.
Yeah.
But I feel like that might be her perspective, because who wants her?
Okay.
Don't say it like that.
That's the way to go about it.
He doesn't even really want her.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Who's not in a toxic relationship?
Right. And I'm thinking, of course, anything involving Future is beyond toxic.
Yeah, well, he's like, just like, you look up toxic and his picture is in the dictionary. So, no, we can't talk about him.
Ray J and Princess Love.
Oh, my God.
That's very toxic, I feel like, on both ends.
Did you watch their sit down?
Y'all remember when he pushed her in the pool?
Yes, I love that. The clip replays in my head all the time. It was just so funny because didn't she like try to hit him first or something?
Yes.
And then she slipped in the pool. Oh my God. I was just like, oh my God.
See, now it's like I kind of feel bad for her because, well, you know, we never know what's going on the outside looking in, but it seemed like there was a dispute over, I guess he wanted to move to Vegas, but she didn't want to move to Vegas. And then she filed for divorce. But I don't think they ever really got a divorce.
No, I watched their sit down, and it was like some big thing that happened where she was in Vegas, and she was like, he left her stranded, and she tweeted it, and he was super upset that like she tweeted their personal business online, like kind of similar to like Kanye West and Kim Kardashian, with him like tweeting all their personal business online, and it's like there has to be some type of boundaries, you know what I mean? So
I think that now that you bring up Kim and Kanye, something that I feel like that's important to bring up is toxic relationships and their correlation with mental illness.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times I feel like you can be with someone who does have these toxic traits, whether they're tied to mental illness or not, and they might not come out until like 3 years later.
this is true.
Because, it didn't seem like, well, of course we didn't know Kanye was bipolar until like, last year. Mm-hmm. And at first, the first few years of him and Kim's marriage, it didn't seem like, there was any, I don't know, I don't want to say foul play, but anything like what we're seeing now.
Yeah.
And it seems like a lot of it is coming to light.
That is true.
Another thing I was thinking about toxic relationships or, just being in something that you shouldn't be in is, say you have your partner, maybe you make some new friends. Now all of a sudden you want to go out like twice a week. And it's like the whole time you're out there badgering you about coming home or just being with someone that has told you in the past that they don't even trust anything you say, but they won't let you go. Like, I feel like a lot of those things are toxic. And when does toxic turn into, okay, I might have to get a restraining order? Like, trying to leave somebody and they won't leave you alone. I just feel like there's so many like different levels to it.
Yeah, I think when it comes to that whole situation, it's just kind of like, God damn it, I forgot where I was going with this. Just that quick.
Well, we were talking about the levels of toxicity, or
Yeah.
however you say it, toxicity, I don't know.
I don't know. We're making up words today.
Making up words. We were talking about the levels of it and how it could kind of get dangerous, right? And then it's like, okay, well, do I need a restraining order or?
Like,
I think you would know, like, if it's about to get dangerous, if there's, like, maybe some physical things going on, or maybe, or not even necessarily that it have to get physical, or maybe just someone overstepping certain privacy boundaries. But that becomes really complicated because I know it's like in a lot of situations where when a woman feels like she forgave a man, then she oversteps his privacy boundaries because she feels like she has the right to because of the previous situation. So I don't know, like that, the whole toxic thing is just, I feel like it's just such a thin line in between figuring out like what's just completely toxic and what are like barriers that you're kind of moving through. Because if there's like no...
The thing about it is like with being toxic is that they already overstepped that boundary. You let them overstep that boundary and you continuously let them overstep that boundary. Mm-hmm. That's what's toxic about it. You understand what I'm saying? He cheated on you. You forgave him. Now he cheated again. You forgive him again. He hit you. You forgave him. He hit you again. You forgive him. That's toxic. He already overstepped those boundaries. If he didn't overstep a boundary and then he overstepped one and then you're done, that's not toxic. He fucked up. That's just, plain blank, period. You know what I mean? I feel like it's toxic when he continuously does it and there's no remorse. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like you're kind of trained in your mind to just forgive him and just move on. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a little bit toxic, that you have to become numb to a situation because there is something that you like about this person that you get from this person that you can't get from other people. So that's why you put up with bullshit that you shouldn't put up with. So that's what I feel like is like super toxic.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like any behavior that you're uncomfortable with that does not change is more than toxic. But I feel like we also sometimes have to check ourselves and see what toxic behaviors we are bringing into the relationship. Because whenever we are on the other end doing something that we know our partner doesn't like or that we discussed about changing with our partner and we continue to show those same behaviors, it's like a two-way street.
Yeah.
So... I don't know. All I know is I'm not trying to be in no toxic relationships.
I read this quote. I think I read it either today or yesterday. And it said, think about how hard it is to change yourself. And then try to apply that to changing other people. So I feel like the bigger problem is just kind of entering things and like you seen the flags to begin with. Like
Yeah.
we already know what wasn't okay, because it's like a lot of times we all fall in love with the potential of a person, the potential of what they could be if they stop this or if they do this. But like if we all just start to just be more honest with ourselves, because normally people just kind of show you things right off the back. And I'm not saying it always goes that way. Sometimes people do, pull the wool over your eyes. But a lot of times you see things for what they are in the beginning. Like I feel like a lot of relationships, it's like this with both men and women. Like probably, like when the couple argues, right? There's normally someone that keeps things together. Like someone to get upset and be like, we don't need to do this, or I don't need to be with you. And then there's one person that keeps it together. Like, no, we should, and I love you, and we love each other. And then you'll see that one day when that person stops putting it together, then it just falls apart.
Yeah, I definitely know at least one thing I've tried to do based off of my own experiences is now I do not ignore any red flags in the beginning, whether they're large or small. If there's little things about somebody I'm trying to get to know that turn me off, I don't even try to get to know them anymore. An example is I just met a guy recently. I feel like he kept making a lot of little late night gestures. I told him that's not really my thing. So early on, he would come see me at my job, and I'm working at a restaurant right now. So, he'll tell me what he wants. I'm like, okay, I'll go put it in. He'll be like, oh, put it in. Whoa. And it's just like, yo, you're a cornball. Or he was telling me he's the go-to food guy at his job. So he's like, I'm like a professional eater. And I'm just like, all right, you're a loser. So it's just like one night I did make the mistake of inviting him over to hang out, and it was kind of late. I had a few drinks, but fortunately I fell asleep and he never made it there. Now, a few days later, he did try to make an implication to come over again after he got off work. He doesn't get off till 11:45. And it's like, I was just telling him I wasn't really in the mood to chill or entertain people right now. He still was trying to persuade me. I feel like that was a red flag, and also maybe a sign of what can be toxic in the future, because if I've already implied to you that I don't feel like having company tonight, don't try to push it in a direction I don't want to go in. So now I just don't even answer his texts.
Yeah, I totally
that was a quick
hate.
cutoff.
Yeah, easy. Yeah, I hate when guys just make sexual suggestions, and it's like, can we get there?
Can we get there?
Me?
Hello.
Like anything, like.
And it's like, say if we have sex early, okay, then after he's making the jokes or whatever, that's fine because we did it already.
Yeah.
But you don't even know if I'm that type of girl. Like, tone it down a notch, And it's like I can be for the right person, but not for somebody who I could already tell is sleazy like you.
Mm-hmm.
Right, because it's like, what are you, community dick? Like, what type of comment? Let's get into that. I hate when guys just, I had to change the topic real quick, little bit. I hate when guys just slide into my inbox saying something nasty, like I'm a professional eater, and it's just like, because that comment, rung a bell, and it's just like, what you want me to say? Like, oh, absolutely, come over, like right now. Like, no, like, what are you, just sticking your tongue in anything? Like, I think you got like tongue AIDS or something.
Right, and I feel like that's also borderline sexual harassment. Whenever guys, it is like, I've had guys hop in my DMs with nasty things too, and I just don't respond. And unfortunately, sometimes it's like people who like are my friends, and it's like, damn, you crossed that line. Like, nah, I look at you differently. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, that's definitely like harassment, because it's like we don't want that type of contact. Mm-hmm. And it's like, even though it's not a relationship, of course that's toxic too. Yeah. So it's still the same subject.
Yeah. It's like, once it's easy to cut things off when it's like first starting. It gets a lot more complicated when you get involved, and then the little things start coming out little by little. Then you're just like, oh, maybe we can work on it. That's where the problem is. So it's like the biggest thing is trying to figure out the solution is, when are you crossing over into toxic, and can we fix it?
Right. Yeah. And darn, I was gonna say something now. I feel like I lost my train of thought.
Oh man,
shoot!
Both of you guys.
It was something about the stuff we've been talking about.
But it's not even only the DM though, with the comments sliding in the DM. It's also the walking down the street, bro. I cannot get enough of that. Like, it's so annoying.
It is, and I know you get it the worst with this body you got.
It's not even only that. Like, I can literally have like a doobie on my head, like no makeup on, lashes, looking crazy, mismatched flip flops.
These people don't care.
Crazy. Like, oh my gosh, it's annoying. They'll see someone else talking to you and they still want to try to talk to you while somebody else trying to talk to you, and you don't ignore that person. So they thought maybe you weren't going to ignore them.
Girl, they are all just a hot mess. And I remember what I was going to say. I feel like sometimes toxic is, okay, say you are the aggressor in the relationship where you can or have done things that negatively influence the relationship. But your partner has agreed to those things. But after every instance comes back with the victim playing, trying to put you down for whatever, maybe if you had influence over whatever you guys did. But it's like, okay, you're still an adult who, like, agreed to this, though. So why now are you coming to me with this energy? You know, I feel like that could also be toxic on both ends, because it's like, okay, you agree to something, but then you know, you make me feel guilty about it after. But it's just like, just say no then in the beginning.
But maybe sometimes people don't want to say no because they don't want to let their partner down. Or maybe they want to, you know, do something that will make them happy. Sometimes being happy is making someone else happy. But, you know, sometimes you realize, shit, that did not make me happy.
Well, you know what I was going to say? A huge thing that goes into toxic relationships, but, you know, comes from within, is putting yourself first and not trying to always put your partner in front of you to the point where you're constantly doing things to their benefit that never satisfy you.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a toxic trait that people kind of carry within.
I kind of do that sometimes. It's annoying.
I'm not that person.
Yeah, I feel like I used to. I'm not necessarily anymore. Cause,
No,
you know,
not anymore.
I've been through a good amount of stuff that makes me just kind of like, whatever. You don't like it? Whatever.
I'm so happy I'm single. I would have bought that PS5.
Ooh, girl.
I would have bought it.
We all would have been doing things that we had no business doing. I'm so happy I'm single too. You know, because sometimes, or like in my past situation, it was becoming more of a possession thing. Mm-hmm. It's like, well, you don't own me now. Like I can go out after work for a few hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, you know, that's toxic as well.
That's
like people meet you a certain way and then they want you to start changing things like throughout the way. Like if you met me and I dress a certain way, you can't think that because we're together that I'm just supposed to just change. Like, you know, maybe I could tone a few things down, but that's really it.
Yeah. That's really it. I'm not changing myself for you. No. And yeah, like I just don't know what else to say, because it's just like, no.
I've been through that. Like I've been a certain way, and then when people get with me, they try to like change like certain things about me. Like, oh, you smoke weed? You can't smoke weed with me. Okay, well, I don't want to be with you then because I smoke weed. You understand what I'm saying? Oh, you can't wear booty shorts. I'm sorry, I'm wearing booty shorts.
I'm sorry, this is my butt.
Until I can't wear booty shorts no more.
Hello?
Like, you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Until like literally my son says, all right, mom, like chill. Then I might still do it. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Just when he's not around, like, you know. But I'm wearing booty shorts and I'm wearing whatever the fuck I want to. I don't care what any man has to tell me. And I feel like anybody who wants to be with me has to accept me for who I am. And I feel like that's also a toxic thing too. Like what you said, like we fall in love with the potential of someone, or, you know, we look at the potential or expectations of people rather than just looking at what people are, looking at the red flags and accepting them for who they are. You know what I mean? So... yeah.
And let's not forget, not only are relationships toxic, but friendships can be super toxic as well.
Absolutely.
Super toxic. They can be just as toxic as like the damn relationship, depending on, you know, how close to the friendship. And a lot of times it's hard to let go of a friendship because you just feel like we're friends and you should be able to work it out. But it's just like any other red flag. Just like you should walk away from red flags in a relationship, it should be the same thing with a friendship. Because I'm at a point, like when I'm just meeting new people, I don't want to be friends with people that say certain type of things, and that's just it.
Well, that's fine, because it's like, you know, we're almost 30 now, so it's just like, that's good that you're at that type of point, you know, like, you know, the type of people and energy that you want around you, and there's nothing wrong with that.
At all. It's so funny. Speaking of friendships, there was this girl, like, toxic
I'm laughing at the eyelash.
Because she already knows about this situation. This girl is so toxic, girl. Like, oh my gosh. Long story short, we're not friends anymore. And I was having a random conversation in the car yesterday with 3 other girls who knew this girl. And I'm just scrolling on Facebook, and it was like friend requests from her. And it was just like, I will never be friends with this girl ever in my life. Like, she's so toxic. Like, I don't even want to give her any more airtime. But it's just like, as far as friendships, that's why I won't even say her name. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, so it's just like, as far as friendships, yeah, because it's like they do the same things like men. Like, they leave and then they try to come back, and they leave. And it's like, if nothing, like, me, I personally, I forgive friends a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because I make mistakes, and, you know, I forgive men. So I feel like I should forgive my friends and, you know, try to work it out. But if it doesn't work out for me forgiving you, then you got to go. But certain things, like you said, those boundaries, certain things you cannot forgive. And she crossed so many boundaries, you know what I mean? And still tries to come back. And I'm like, man, no, I can't.
Yeah. And I don't do off and on relationships, so I definitely don't do off and on friendships. I've had friendships that ended, and then, you know, some time passed, and then the person, like, apologizes or whatever, but it's just like, I'm still good on you.
Yeah,
like,
right.
I'm still good. I'm good.
It's still not the same. It's not the same at all, because it's just like, oh, man. Like, I've had that happen with one of my friends. We were really close all throughout college, and I forgot what happened. But then she, like, popped up, like, 6 years later, and she was like, I apologize. And I was just like, I don't even know what you're apologizing for, because I don't even remember what the fuck happened. You understand what I'm saying? And it's like, damn, it took you that long? Like, girl, bye.
Right. and then it just make me wonder, because, you know, one of my friends' perspective was like, you know, they're growing, they apologize, but I'm just like, nah, like, why you want to say sorry to me, like, years later?
Yeah.
What do you want?
Yeah.
Are you bored?
Usually
Like,
it's for them, you know, for like how you said, their growth. But still, that has nothing to do with you. So I feel the same way. It's just like, get out of my inbox.
You're selfish. Goodbye.
Yeah. Where was that energy 6 years ago?
and I feel like with friendships, it's like when someone betrays you, it hits hard, because it's like you kind of expect certain things from guys. It's like you already have in your head that, you know, I could love this person to the moon and back, but it might not work out. And it's like, for some reason, it's like with friends, you just feel like, what should go wrong? Like, what should be the problem? But it just always ends up being a bunch of stuff. And it's like, you can end up putting a whole bunch of years into dead friendships, too, the same way you put into relationships.
Yes.
So
I think it's also important to, you know, just go into how people end up being toxic because of how they grew up and how they saw their family and parents interact. So, you know, not that it's our job to deal with anyone's childhood demons, but I feel like that's where this types of energy stems from. Who knows what Future saw when he was a child?
Yeah, I cannot.
I mean, it's true.
She might have Back to Future.
I mean, because he's Toxic King, you know? He's Toxic King. But one thing I appreciate
honestly,
about... What?
But look, he is Toxic King, and we cannot take that away from him. But
we're gonna name this episode
I'm
Future.
just so it just really gets me. Like, what type? Like, it's like, I get it, he has money, right? Whatever. But it's like, how many baby mothers, like, they gonna just keep watching the same person go through the same thing over and over again? I just do not get it. It's like,
it's sick, girl.
It's publicly there for you to see. Like,
he's a smooth talker.
But you know who's worse than him? NBA Youngboy, okay? He's 20, has 8 kids, gives all the baby moms herpes. And still got girls chasing after him. The Yaya girl, I sent Christina a little...
Floyd Mayweather's daughter.
Yes, girl. So basically, she stabbed one of the baby moms. Almost, borderline has a charge for it. And is still trying to be with this man, you know? And he be walking around like, yeah, I got herpes. Saying it in the songs, everything. So he's worse than Future. Like, to our knowledge,
and he's only
Future
21.
isn't burning people.
He's
still 20, girl.
No, he's 21.
No, I just read something. 20 with 8 kids.
He's 21.
You could look it up. One of us could look it up. But I think he's still 20. I don't even think
he's 21. And then it's just like, if these things are so public, once again, he's terrible. He's clearly terrible.
He's trash.
Like, what's up with you that you would go and did? Like, honestly, it's not enough money in the world for me to go and deal with some little boy with 8 kids with herpes.
Isn't Future a Scorpio?
He is. Future is a Scorpio. Shoot, NBA Youngboy might be too, but who knows?
Let's see.
All y'all Scorpios be the toxic people.
No, we don't.
Oh my God.
No, we don't.
We're
not even going to get on that topic. No, we're not. No.
My ex is a Scorpio girl.
Oh my
They are
God.
Oh man,
The
he
most-
almost made a Scorpio.
Who, NBA?
Yeah, he
What is
missed it
he?
by 3 days.
The
Oh,
most toxic friendship I've had was with a
A
Scorpio.
Scorpio.
This girl was so annoying.
The most toxic friendship I had was with a Libra.
I mean, the most toxic friendship I had. What was her sign? I don't even know. Ugh. Oh shit. She was a Libra, Virgo.
Like me.
Yeah, she was a Virgo. Hmm.
I'm trying to think of, like, do the signs have any type of correlation?
I think sometimes they do when matched up with other signs.
And I think it has to do with the person, because you know how they say that it's the birth chart.
It is.
Yeah. So.
Like, I really feel like it does, because I know sometimes people be like, oh my God, you're an October Scorpio. And I feel like it's like team light skin versus dark skin. And I'm like, I'm still Scorpio, so it doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
It doesn't matter. But they'll be like, oh my God, you're such a cool Scorpio. I thought you was going to be like an October Scorpio. And I'm like, okay, whatever.
I had something that I thought about we should get into is also toxic sex, right? Not just because I want to fuck.
The best one.
Well, no, I was going to say like things maybe that go on between you and your partner that say you may not necessarily like, but you kind of just deal with because you're like, okay, this is what my partner wants. Like, say if you have a partner who always wants to watch porn before you guys get into it, but you don't really like that. But, you know, you don't always feel like sucking his dick for hours either before. But, you know, that's something you may not really like and you don't know how to voice. But I feel like that also can tie into how I was saying people kind of just do or allow things to make the other person happy and then don't really speak up about it.
They don't.
Yeah, because I just couldn't see that happening. Like, I can't relate.
Yeah, I feel you.
She said I can't relate. If I don't want to suck dick, I'm not sucking dick, okay?
I just don't like to do it for too long. And it's like, what if the person is just so big, you know? I just feel like I have a little mouth. Like, where is it going to go?
I cannot.
Because that's a lot. Because I feel like, if anything, like, you definitely shouldn't be agreeing to things sexually. Like, I feel like in real life, people just agree to things that they don't want to do just to not be a pain in the ass. Like, sex is supposed to be pleasurable, so, nah.
Yeah.
No, but sometimes men do pressure things onto females for sex because of their own sexual desires, and they want to, you know, do that with their partner, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of these men have different fetishes and kinks and stuff like that, but let me be quiet. Let me sip my.
Yeah, because you can save that for the
Yeah,
next
let me
save
sip my
that for the
Hennessy.
next episode.
Oh, my God.
But yeah, I feel like there's so many like toxic kids. We can go on forever about this. Like men with kids, women with kids, their relationship with the baby mom or baby father, and then you having to put up with that, you know, every time they have a fight with the baby mom. Oh, next thing you know, a few hours later, y'all having an argument. Everything is an energy transfer.
Or not even that. Sometimes they want to confide in you about the argument that they're having about their baby mom, and you're just sitting there like,
I don't care.
I don't give a fuck.
I don't care. Like, leave me out of it.
Yeah, dealing with someone with kids is definitely complicated, and then also trying to figure out, it's like when you're not the baby mother, it's like then you don't want to be too strange about like whatever relationship that the parents have, because I know that the baby dad is also trying to keep the peace, and like it's just so many things to consider and trying to figure out what's normal and what's not normal. And oh my God.
Now I've told myself I would never deal with somebody seriously who has children, because I know I want to have more children one day, and I don't want it to be with somebody who has multiple kids. And just from my experience dating somebody with a child, I never would want to deal with the whole baby mom thing again, or her like trying to talk to me and stuff. So yeah, I need somebody who does not have children. We
That's
could just
crazy.
start fresh together with me and Monroe, and it'll be all about us. Okay, I don't want to hear about the baby moms or nothing. So yeah, that's my new thing.
I used to have that like mentality of just not wanting to deal with guys with kids, but I don't know, I just kind of felt like I was closing myself off. Like I am making myself deal with something that I don't necessarily need to deal with, but I just didn't want to just close myself off to a whole world of people, especially since like I'm getting older. So it's like the people without kids are starting to be so much younger.
That's true. But I will say, I just from what I've seen, you know, I'm a single mom. The single moms that flourish are the ones who move on to men who don't have any
about to say,
prior children.
I only want him. I don't want a guy that doesn't have any kids, because I feel like it's kind of hard talking to a guy that doesn't have kids because they don't really understand it.
That's not true. They're not all like that.
I mean, from the men that I've spoken to, I don't feel like they truly really understand
because then
it.
you still have to deal with that whole, like you said, with the baby father
situation,
and
like they
not
press me about
understanding that y'all him have to talk. Y'all, I get what you're saying.
I
You
think
know
it
what
just
I'm saying?
depends.
And I just feel like they just don't get the timing situation and like finding a babysitter, and I just feel like they don't get it. You know what I'm saying? And then sometimes like they get upset, like, oh, you're trying to play me, or oh, you're giving me excuses, or they try to like pressure, like, oh, I like kids. I want to see your kid. And I feel like men who already have kids don't pressure to see my children because they know what it is.
Because they know that that's a
but
big deal.
But I feel like men who don't have kids, they feel like it's like cool points or something like that to say like, oh yeah, I'll go with you to the park. I'll take you here with your kids. And it's just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never had that.
I totally
like
understand.
A man without kids be pressed to see mine, but I will say, with or without children, the right man for you is going to understand everything that you have going on.
Yeah,
and,
of course.
You know, whether it's your perspective or mine, like everything's going to work out how we want it to. And I just know that a man with kids is not for me. Maybe one or two by the same lady.
No,
but if he has like 5 kids by 5
no.
women or something, that's like,
Definitely
girl,
not.
no, you know, that's a lot. Okay.
Definitely not.
No, I'm
These
saying like if
eggs.
I just want a man that has like a child. Like I'm even fine with a guy that has a child that's like 10 or 13. Like you feel what I'm saying? He knows what it's hitting for. I'm not
One
saying,
child is a maybe.
Yeah,
for
I'm
me.
not saying like I want a guy that has like a 4-month-old or a 1-2-year-old. Like
then you just setting yourself up.
Those are red flags. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? Because why did you not stay with the mom? And your child's only 2.
What is
child's
wrong with
only
you?
4 months. Like, come on, you have commitment issues. You have responsibility issues. You know what I mean? So I mean, that's just how I feel about it. I just feel like they're just a little bit more responsible when it comes to children, because I know when I had kids, that shit straightened me a little bit more the fuck up as far as responsibility, as far as finances, as far as everything.
Yeah.
So I just feel like, and I'm not saying people without kids don't get to the bag. Trust me, they do.
More than ever, because they
do.
don't got no, obligations.
Know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
they do. But I just feel like as like having children, like that just puts them like you just become more responsible, more disciplined. That's the word I'm looking for. You become more disciplined.
I totally understand what you're saying. Like it is, because I did notice as far as like the difference of, and that once again, that doesn't mean that single men don't do what they need to do, but I did notice the difference in between dealing with, the guy that didn't have kids and then the guy that does have kids. He's worried about like, responsibilities, and so both does have pros and cons. So that's why I just, whoever it works out for, it works out for. I don't want to say that I'm not going to do this and do that, because, I thought that I wouldn't deal with anyone with kids, and here I am.
Yeah, no, I thought that too until I was in my situation, but mine was just so drastic that I was just like, oh, never again. It got to the point where like I was off and my daughter was out of town and I'm watching his annoying ass kid, and it's just like, yo, this ain't even my kid. It's supposed to be my day off. Like I cannot do this. All right. I just can't.
I can't.
I just started thinking about it. I'm like, why are you doing this? And it's like that
and it's
same
so funny
day.
because it's like when you're with someone with a kid, it's like you kind of think, you would have thought that, well, someone else in another situation would have probably thought that you would have liked that he left his kid with you or whatever, but you're like, no.
That's in the early dumb phase days.
Yeah,
okay, once you get a little more seasoned, you realize that shit ain't cute.
Yeah, it's not cute. That
Ask your family.
Yeah.
The fuck? Who the hell am I?
Who are you?
Who the hell am I?
What are you doing?
Just because I'm somebody else's mom doesn't mean I want to take up the responsibility of watching your child.
No, that
right,
was
and
too much.
also like as as having friends with kids and stuff, I also understand how come baby mothers don't really want another girl around their child.
Yes.
I get it. Because you don't want nobody else. You don't want nobody else having an influence on your child. Mm-hmm. You don't want anybody doing certain things that you feel like you should be doing. So I totally get that. Because then that becomes like a slippery slope of when you're dealing with somebody with kids. And like you said, like, having to deal with them around the kid because y'all are not there yet or whatever. But at first I didn't understand, like, what's the big deal? Like, but then after a while, like, I had to really sit and think about it, and then also think about, like, even my own situation and growing up and, you know, having a stepmom or whatever the case may be, like, everybody doesn't always have the best intentions.
Yeah.
So a person could feel like, you know, we had our little run-ins. Like, what makes me think you're going to treat my child correctly?
Yeah.
So, like I said, it's complicated. It's a whole bunch of things
like that.
So I thought about another toxic relationship. Since we were talking about celebrities, definitely Blueface and his baby mom.
What happened?
Oh
to his
my!
baby
It's
mom?
always something happening, and it's like in the
know.
videos, it's like she's always so angry. She'll like slap him across the face, and then he'll just laugh, or like she'll like key his car, like try to bust out a window. He'll just laugh.
Do you guys watch Marriage Boot Camp? Did you guys
Sometimes
see that thing
I
with
do.
Tahiri?
Yeah,
I
that's
did.
sad.
Oh my
First of
God.
all, who the
Did you
hell
guys
is Vado?
hold on before you guys say what you're about to say. Did you guys see any clips before that happened?
No. So that's why I'm asking you guys, what did she say? Because I don't think she said anything crazy.
So
that's
she
what I'm
didn't
trying to
say
understand.
anything crazy at that particular moment, but they
What
showed
did she say?
some,
Suck my dick.
No.
So what's the
They
problem?
showed some clips of her, like, you know, being like she got upset and like threw something at him. So pretty much people were saying like there were multiple times of her getting physical with him first. So he ended up reacting later on. So it was like a
doesn't
build-up
matter.
effect. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, but we have to acknowledge how toxic she is too before we just completely put the blame onto him, because she pretty much attacked him a few times before it led to that.
Yeah, but he puts up with it. He puts up with it, and I just feel like it's never okay
Yeah.
for the guy to put his hands on a woman. So that's why anything she did is a write-off. Because the law doesn't say, even though it is fucked up,
The law doesn't
the
say.
law doesn't say it's against the law, even though it is. Women
Yeah.
do get domestic violence charges,
Yeah,
but I
making
just
her
feel
own
like
laws. You can't
once-
making her own laws, y'all.
once the man that puts his hands back on you, I feel like it's just a shutdown situation. But she'll probably stay and deal with it because of how toxic she is and because of her guilt for her advances towards him, like how you said.
Because like a man, like I said, I'm not defending it. A man shouldn't put his hands on you, but you shouldn't put your hands on them either.
Absolutely not.
Of course not.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like as a man, you know what you're capable of, and you should just get up and walk away, or go get your sister, or your auntie, or your mom.
Go set it
fair.
up real quick.
That's
you know,
fair.
set it up.
I'll
Because
totally
I'm pretty
agree with
sure,
that.
I'm pretty sure, if it was a situation, you know, where it was like, it's a battle you can't fight. This is what I'm saying, because it's a female. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm pretty sure if it was a situation where it was like 6 niggas, you gonna go get your niggas, right? So, because you can't
You
fight
can't do
that
it.
I get what
battle.
you're saying.
Yeah.
So since you
this is
can't
a
fight that
uh-huh.
battle as a female, because she's a female, go get somebody else. You gotta have other females.
That's true.
Come on.
That's true.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah. I
That's
mean,
true.
And if you don't, then you really need to go home. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Marriage Boot Camp is kind of good, though, because, you know, I got cable now, so I'll be watching it. Everybody's little story is kind of interested, because, you know, my mom watches it, so she'll always, like, talk to me about it. So now I've been watching it myself. I'm like, oh, it's kind of good.
And it's pretty good.
It's good.
I've never watched it.
We gotta watch
I still don't like Hazel E, though.
it. Yeah, no.
I remember the, did
So
you
what are
guys
they
see
trying
the,
to fix their toxic relationships?
Yeah, pretty much.
Did
They're
you
trying to
guys-
fix their toxic marriages.
Right. But did you guys see the, when Hazel E went on Iyanla Fix My Life?
No.
Oh, you should look it up on YouTube. It is so funny. It is, you know, it's like one of those things where it's not meant to be funny, but it is.
It's just hilarious.
It's hilarious. Like, she was telling her, she like, Iyanla had like all these pictures, I feel like Harriet Tubman and stuff on the wall. And I feel like at the time, Hazel E had some dumb songs. Something like, Pop That Ass or something like, Pop
Oh
My
my
Ass. or whatever.
God.
So she's like, say it, go ahead, sing it to Harriet Tubman.
No.
I think it was. It
That's
wasn't Marriage
toxic.
Boot Camp. I know it was something with DMX and his wife.
Oh, no, his was horrible. He was cursing a lady out.
Yeah.
But Hazel E had a bad mom.
Yeah,
That's what came out
And that's
in the
another
show.
thing that you were talking about. Like, you feel like, you know, toxic behavior comes from how you were raised and stuff like that. And that's why, like, now when I talk to men, like, I like ask them a lot of questions about their childhood and how I don't give a fuck about anything that happened past 13. I want to know everything before then, because like their mom, their father, their sisters, their aunties, their uncles, I want to know everything, because I feel like that's like so important, like your support system that you had as a family, because a lot of people did not have family, like, and you'll be
Sad.
surprised. Like, because, you know, you, like, me personally, like, my mom's my best friend. You feel what I'm saying? You'll be surprised how many people fucking hate their mom. And then I'm just like, wait, what? You hate your mom? How is this possible? Like, I don't understand. Like, me, I have no relationship with my birth father, but me and my stepfather, you know what I'm saying? But for other people that have relationships with their birth father, you're like, how? How don't you, you know what I'm saying? And me and my father share the same fucking birthday. It's insane.
Crazy.
You know what I'm saying? So everyone, like, you have to learn, like, how people were raised and understand, like, how their mindset is. And like you said, like, also with mental illness and stuff like that, it plays into, like, toxic behavior. So that's what I be on.
I don't like when people use, and it's hard to figure out if someone is using it as an excuse or whether it's really real. Like, I've had situations, not with guys, but more with friends, that they start acting funny and being iffy, and then they just try and come back, and then they'd be like, oh, I was depressed. And just like...
So the only thing that I will say in defense of that is, if you haven't been depressed to a certain extent, it may not be something you could understand just because it's something you haven't been through. But I just knowing people that have been depressed, it's like we kind of have to empathize with them, because depression is apparently something that's like out of this world. Like, I was dating a guy at one point where, like, he would wake up and be like, yeah, I called out of work, I just have to go back to sleep for the rest of the day, blah, blah, blah. And I just did not understand that. I'm like, yo, you missing money. But, like, whatever he was going through with that depression, it's like to the point where I feel like can't even control how you move.
Yeah, and a lot of times when people are depressed, they pull themselves away from everyone. Like, so that's what they do. They leave, and then they come back like, hey, what's up? Everything's good now. How you doing? Mm-hmm. I'm back.
It's a form of mental illness.
This is my thing.
I think it's borderline it's a borderline personality disorder.
Exactly. I understand the depression, but like I said, I notice sometimes I feel like people use it as an excuse, and that's why, like I said, I never noticed. Well, I've noticed depression in guys, but like in friendships where it was like something wrong. It's like, you're telling me that, like, you were depressed, but I see you still doing other stuff or whatever the case. I don't know.
I feel you. You're like, why do I see you out having drinks on your story? Okay. Mm-hmm. That don't look too depressed to me.
You want to know what's so crazy? The gram in the book be a liar. People be probably looking like they be having fun. You don't know how that night ended for that girl.
Or that could be an old video, too.
No, but you don't know how that night ended for her because she's depressed. You feel what I'm saying?
She took pictures. Messed up,
yeah, she took pictures when she was happy. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And she probably don't want to be around you while she's spiraling out of control, because you have such a good image of her.
Right. And it's embarrassing
for her. So now she's with her ratchet, embarrassing ass, stupid ass friends.
That she don't give a damn about how they feel about her.
Because they're a fucking hot mess too.
That's a good point. I never thought of it that way.
You know what I'm saying?
You have to just really consider other people's perspectives.
Yeah, she doesn't want to put that toxic shit on you, so she's just going to hang out with her fucking ratchet, toxic ass head rat friends.
That makes sense. But I think we've talked enough about toxicity.
Yeah. Plus my drink is done. I need to refill.
I know.
So we're going to wrap that up. Toxic relationships. Give it to me straight. And we're out.
Yeah.
See ya.
See ya.